50 minutes. 50 minutes is my limit. Alright. Let's blow this popsicle stand. No diddy. So again, today I'm back here with another video on today. Today I'm gonna be hitting a talking video. I'm trying not to keep it civil. Alright. I actually don't even know what to say. And these headphones aren't blocking me from hearing me as much as I thought they would, which kind of makes it easier. I don't say I never say anything out loud, what I'm actually thinking, okay? Everything that leaves my mouth is some bullshit about something stupid, okay? So this is odd, but I feel like I need to assess, right? Okay, I've been 20 for 3 months. I was thinking the other day, like, yo, since hitting 20, this, whatever, there's something in the air that's changed. But I'm like, I'm looking at the videos that I've made, and I'm editing, and I'm like, okay, but I haven't changed. So what am I talking about? But I'm like, something's changed, and then I clocked it, and I'm like, my brother, it's June. I turned 20 in March. I've only been 20 for all of this. Whatever is happening in this noggin, all of this has somehow transpired within 3 months. Somehow. Yeah, I turned 20 March, April, May, June. It's literally been 3 months, bro. I turned 20 on the 17th. Okay? It's been 3 months. And my brain is like a mess, but it's like not a mess. I feel like, or at least I should have made this video like a week ago, but I feel like I've got a I finally have a plan of sort. I have a plan that is realistic, it's logical, and it's so I'm gonna make this, and I'm gonna make another video probably called "To Me in like 6-7 years," in which I'm gonna lay it out so that I can look back on the video. I'll see if I let myself down or not. It's probably like an 80% chance that I did, but no, we're not thinking like that. Okay, no. This is. I'm gonna get into it then, but I'm gonna hit a walkthrough real quick. Okay. So I need a. Okay, so I was a kid, right? With a very big personality, very confident, very daredevil, not a worry in the world, you know. If there was a chance for me to get hurt, I would get myself hurt, you know. Because it was fun, you know. It was fun taking damage, you know. Like when I was a kid, we used to have a table. This was on my own house because I was born in England. I only left England when I was like 10 years old. We're going to get to that. I was born in England, in the UK, in Birmingham. And we used to live in this house, right? And there was this table. And the table was right next to this television. It was back in the day, okay? So it was one of those block TVs. I remember it was one of those big block TVs. I don't now remember how old I was, but I jumped from the table onto the TV, just straight. And TV fell on me. I fell on the other side of the TV, which is up against the wall, and I fell. I actually forgot about this. Oh my gosh! And my mom, sometimes she brings it up, but anytime she does, she was always like, "Oh, when you fell on that side of the TV, I thought, oh, he's dead. And then she looked, and I was perfectly fine. There's other things that happened, but I just can't remember them. I can't remember anything. Things like that. You know, my mom always used to bring up things that are broken, but I forgot. I actually don't remember things that are broken, but I broke a lot of things. Bro. Just doing things, you know. One time she had a laptop, and I was sitting on the floor watching it as a kid, and then I kept jumping over it right into the kitchen, getting something, jumping back over it, and then sitting down. And one time I jumped over it, foot hit it, laptop broke. Just straight whole screen, you know. You're just just embraced so many things. Okay, right? Right? Freedom. Okay, so I was like that, you know. Childhood friends, you know, go to people's houses, you know, walk to school every single, you know, I used to walk to school all the time, you know, very rarely got picked up, just walking. There's a park by my house, used to walk, hang out with kids, you know, used to go chill with other kids in the neighborhood, you know, light work, no reaction. And then I turned 10 and then we obviously moved from England. It kind of nerfed me, bro, because I didn't want to be here. I lost my confidence, and then, you know, I don't remember when I started, but my mom said I actually started, because school in England ends in like June or July or May, where school here starts in January. So that whole time of being 10 years old, I did not go to school. 2016, the whole second half of 2016, I did not go to school. And my mom actually said something this year. She was like, "You only started midway through the year." So I actually only started school in like April of the next year. I was like, oh damn. So I basically had a year off school at 10. Sat at home, because obviously we moved. Sat at home. We went to London. Sat at home. Ate Doritos. Gained some weight. But I remember the first day. So England, I did year one. I did kindergarten. I did year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and I left at the end of year 5. And when I moved here, school in England is like way behind. Like, if you finish high school at like 16, so high school starts way sooner. But when I came here, so in the year that I would have been starting high school, in here I was doing grade 7. I was still in primary school anyway. So then I came here, I did grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, finished primary school, and then did grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, 11, and 12 in high school, and then it was done, obviously, here. Ended high school, 18, right? Anyway, we moved. I remember the first day of grade 5, just Sam, teacher was introducing me to the class, and I was just sitting there. Honestly, I remember that day, I didn't remember how to write. I didn't remember how to do nothing, bro. I was so out of my element. The only people that I talked to at my age were like maybe the few times that we'd gone to church. Other than that, there was Nish. Anyway, I remember that day that she was introducing me to the class, and she was like, "Okay, treat him nicely. He's a little bit shy." And I remember just being like, "The fuck." I was really about to be. I was like, shy. What you think you talking to? Who do you think you talking about, bro? I ain't shy. I was like, I'm shy. Me? But I got nerfed basically. I became a lesser version of myself, and I wanted to be with my homeboys. I didn't have any homeboys, so it's like you hate being where you're at. You don't like it, but you want to have friends. You want to fit in. So it's a double entendre. Using the big words anyway. So yeah, you know, and eventually it took me a while. You know, it took me a long time to make friends. And in grade 7, I remember there were like classrooms, and there was this hill. And then, you know, sometimes when we come out the classroom, I just straight roll down the hill before going to the, you know, things like that, you know. And then in grade 8, high school started, you know, and then we'd go on these jogs. And then it'd be like, oh, and you take this route, and then now there's a hill that goes down. It's made out of grass. There's a hill goes down, and then there's the entrance to the high school, and then we go. And then, but anytime we don't be running as a group, I would just roll down that hill. It was nice, man. You know, things like that. Okay. And then COVID hit. All right. Basically, all of this to say is that since moving, I haven't been me fully, not fully. You know, high school ended. You know, grade 12. And I think that was when I finally reached who I was, you know. You know, I was doing good, like 90%. I was doing school plays, doing all this, doing all that. I was very social, you know. go up, give a speech to the class for some marks. It was light work, no reaction. I was getting 10 out of 10s. You know, I finally found myself again, like fully, right? I got me back. But then it was the end of high school, and then the year ended, and then it was done. And it was done. Kablamo. Now it's 2025. And it's like starting from zero all over again. You know, going from like talking to like 300 people on a daily, low key, bouncing between people to talking to basically no one. Anyway, my point is, I'm not done. Okay, we're gonna come back to that. My point is, I usually half-ass a lot of stuff. I used to be very fast in primary school, well, in grade 7 specifically. I never got to high school. COVID hit, and I got out of shape, right? And in 2021, there was no, you had to be a certain thingy to qualify to even go run on the track because it was COVID. So it wasn't like a thing where you could have the whole school be there. It's only certain people. If you weren't competing, you couldn't go. You couldn't like just go there to watch. You just couldn't go. So in 2022, you know, so then from that point, 2020, when did it happen? Okay, yeah, so 2022, I started training because in January 2023 would be the athletics day again. No, it was 2022, the start of that year is when it was, because it was still coming off of COVID in 2021. That was the year you couldn't go unless you were competing. So in 2023, I was like, I'm gonna train. I told myself I was gonna go to the track at the university. Takes me an hour to walk there, but it was a track that I could go to. I was gonna run around. I was gonna train, and I was gonna sprint. Like I was gonna get faster. Okay, and I told myself I was gonna do that every Saturday and Sunday. And I think I started that in like July, August of 2022. I didn't go every Saturday and Sunday. I didn't. I'm a fraud. I'm a bum. I didn't go every Saturday and Sunday. I half-assed it. I didn't go a lot. Or maybe once every few Saturdays, Sundays. But I didn't go. And you know, we still had sports. So when it came to the sports, I was faster than my homeboys. You know, because we're basically doing the same training, but I was obviously going there every now and then in which I would beat them. So, you know, I was getting fast, you know. But anyway, I half-assed it, bro. I didn't go every Saturday and Sunday. And now, just hitting a week before, I raced 2 of my homeboys for an actual decent distance. And then I was like, yo, who won? And they were like, oh, you came last. I didn't realize, so they were like right on me. And I remember I went home that day and I started just running about like here because I was like, there's no way I did all this work. Anyway, the day comes at the athletics day, couple I run. I run in the race. They put me with the 2 fastest niggas in the grade. Of course they did, but that's not the point. Point is I came second last, you know. And I ended the race and I was like, damn. I was so disappointed, bro. I was like, you know, I put in all that work to try it. You know, and I was like, and they were like, oh man, you don't run like you usually do, because they was gassing me up, telling people like, oh, Sam's gonna smoke y'all, bro. Anyway, and then it ended, and I was like, damn, I was so defeated. Even my mom, bro, she recorded my race, but she had recorded the wrong nigga because we was wearing the same thing. Nigga, I came second last. You recorded the wrong guy. Anyway, yeah, I was really disappointed. You know, and they were like, oh man, you weren't running like you usually do. And I was blaming it on things like, oh, I ate before the race, or I drank too much water, or I didn't stretch today. And then I was looking at the video of my race and my time. It was maybe I ran like, you know, because I timed some of my runs at the track while I was training. I was running 100 meters in like 13 seconds. 13 to 14. It was more edging on 14. You know, so I was like, oh man, I ran slow, you know. I ran slower than I usually do. But I looked at the video, I looked at my time, and I was like, yeah, I ran. You know, you watch the videos and they're like, oh, hit the high knees, hit this, hit that, yada, yada, yada. Because in grade 7, we also ran, and that time I ran a slower time than I usually do on that day. I still came first in my race in grade 7, but that time I ran a slower time than I usually do, and I didn't make it. I didn't make it to the top 10, which I would have. So, But this time I was blaming it on other things. Anyway, point is, okay, well, not point is. The guy, what is the hell is that guy doing out there? Anyway, I looked at the video and I was like, oh damn, there was no anomaly here. I ran the same time that I usually ran at that track. You know, I just didn't put in the work. I half-assed it, bro. But then something else happened the year after. The year after, I didn't run 100 meters. I signed up to run 400, and I think I signed up to run 800 as well. And then I didn't go to the 800 on the day because I was like, oh, hell nah, bro. I'm good. Anyway, so then I signed up to run something because it was like my last year of high school, which is one of the reasons I did a lot more than I usually do because I was like, I actually want to get involved this year, you know, instead of just sitting at home all the time. And you know, it was a great year. Met a lot of people. Anyway, so then it comes 2024. Okay, it's January. I signed up to run the 400. This time, I didn't train. This time I didn't train because I knew if I did, I was gonna half-ass it. This time I wasn't. Yeah. I had to think like, who am I trying to impress here? I'm trying to look cool. Oh man. Oh my gosh, Sam, you were so fast. How did you become faster than the grade? Oh my gosh, you know. But then I ran a shit time, and I ran a shit time because I didn't actually put in the work. You know, and so then 2024 came. So then after that year in 2023, I was like, okay, I'm gonna compete next year, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna train. It's hitting like the end of the year 2023, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna train for. I'm good. I'm fine. And then I ended up signing up for the 400. I was like, screw it, let me do the 400. Can't be that bad. I can run a decent 200. So then the day comes. I run the 400. I didn't train at all. I did the cheerleading because every team had to do a cheerleading thing where you cheerlead, you know, for the team, for your house, and then all the houses were going up against each other. You know, athletics day, sports day, whatever you call it. Okay, but this time I didn't train. This time I didn't put in the work. And you know what? I had a great time. I didn't put in the work because what would I have been putting in the work for? At the end of the day, I never cared to be a sprinter or do any of that. I guess I was doing it because I wanted attention, I guess, or I don't know. But this time I just signed up for the 400 and I did it. And I went in and I was like, oh, they put me with this tall guy who was like one of the fastest in the grade apparently. I went in and I was like, oh, I'm going to get cooked. But you know what? Okay, so boom. We line up for the 400. Boom, the thing goes out. Bah! Boom, 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 boom. I'm running. I'm like running. Even one of my teachers shouted my name, go Sam, go Sam. I'm running. I'm like, oh damn, I'm doing pretty decent. If it hits 100, I'm maybe like second. Okay? Now we're coming up on the 200 mark. I'm maybe about third. That tall guy who was one of the fastest in the grade. He's beat me. Okay? But that's fine. And then another guy who's beat me. Okay? And I'm like third. And I'm like, cool. But one thing, I had never trained beyond 200. Even there were a few times I was at the track with my homeboy because he'd come by my house and he was like, yeah, man, you know, I'm going to be competing this year. I'm going to go to track, you want to? Because I was like, all right, cool. Because I wouldn't have to walk there. It was just going to give me a lesson. I get to hang with my homeboy. So then, you know, I hit a few 200s that time. And I was like, screw it, I'm running 400, bro. It can't be that hard to run that twice. It can't be. We hit the 200 mark. I'm third. I'm like, oh, damn, I'm doing pretty decent. We hit that 200 mark. My system shut off. On that 300-meter curve, every single nigga in the race starts passing me. Everybody passes me. Oh, and by the time we come off on the 400, everyone is boom. Somehow they maintain that speed. I said, oh, damn. Okay, so then now I'm like, okay, it's cool. I had my fun. I did better than I thought I would do. I had my fun. It's on the last 100 meters now. Okay, all the people in the bleachers, I don't care who's watching. I don't care. Okay, I had my fun. It was cool. I did better than I thought I was going to do. I was able to keep with these guys for 200 meters. Okay, I was able to be third. For me, it was a 200-meter race. Okay, and I was third, which is spectacular off of no training. Okay, because I did kind of do training because obviously you had to do a sport in school. So I don't sprints, but those things were just like short bursts for maybe like 50 meters. So it was not like, not even. It was like short bursts for maybe like 40 meters on some grass. So it wasn't actually like Anyway, so now it's the last 100 meters of the race, and I'm like, okay, I had my fun. It was cool. I didn't run this race to win. I just ran it to have to. I just ran it for a jolly good time, bro. Okay. So now I'm like, okay, I can just do what everyone else does. I could slow down and I could just walk the rest. I'm fine. I don't care. I tried to stop jogging. I tried to, because obviously you're jogging at your full pace and eventually you slow down. Now you're there like, so I tried to just stop and start walking. My legs literally would not let me. They would not let me. My legs literally was like, I tried to slow down. It was like my legs said, nigga, you slow down right now, we're gonna kill you. We're gonna make sure you never walk again. If you slow down even a little bit, we're gonna make sure you never walk again. So I remember I tried to start walking. And then it would not. So I just had to keep going. I remember just being like, yo, I tried to stop and I was just like, oh no, I can't stop. I'm like the A train, I can't stop. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna die. And then I could hear these girls from my grade. I don't even remember who they was. I think they were in my grade. I don't remember, but they knew me, and they were like, "Go Sam, go Sam," and I'm there running like, "Oh nah, yeah, whatever, man. Shut up, I'm gonna die here." Anyway, the race ended. I crossed the line. I go to one of the guys at the end. Dude, but a whole grown man. I think it was, I don't know, one of those dudes. Okay, but he was giving me a massage, massaging me on my hamstrings. I was like, but it was great. It was great, bro. It was a great experience. It was fun. I don't know if it was great because I didn't put in the work, so I didn't care about the outcome, bro. I just did it for the vibes, you know. And no, it was fun. It was so good. Like, that was so nice, bro. Um, it was so nice. I'm trying to think what else happened that year. I think this is something that happened that year, or it's something that happened the year before. I think it was something that happened the year before. Yeah, it did happen the year before in 2023. Anyway, we were asked to give an unprepared oral, which is basically an unprepared speech. They give you a topic. You have 3 minutes to think of something. Then you gotta go up in the class and say it, and they're gonna mark you. And this was in English. And I ended up I think it was like it was give something about a great experience you had, you know. And I just went up there and I was like, you know what, a great experience I had was watching this amazing show called Attack on Titan. And I stood up there and I talked about Attack on Titan for like 2 minutes, and I was there. I was so passionate about it, and I got 10 out of 10 for that thing. Of course I did, you know, because I was passionate about Attack on Titan. You know, I still am, but I was able to go up there and just talk about Attack on Titan and feel free. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I did that for that race. I don't know why I spoke about that. That was an example. Anyway. Okay, so now, boom, the year's over. Great year. Even prom was nice, even though I got sick. I ate the food and I had an allergic reaction. I was sat at the table for like half the night, going in the bathroom, trying to shit, being like, okay, if I can just get it out. But no, I rashed all over my entire body, but we still slept in my homeboy's house. It was cool. You know, I didn't even take a girl to prom. I took one of my homeboys from another school, because they said you could bring one guest, but then all of the people from my primary school, most of us had gone to the same high school because it was close. But there was some people that went to a different high school. So then I was like, yo, you went to this high school. I can have you as my date. It's not gay, all right? To my prom, obviously, because you already know 80% of the people there. And it was a sick night, bro, because obviously all of us at the table, all the man them, okay? Because obviously we had all gone to the apartment school. We all knew each other. And I was like, yo, I'm going to bring Michael. And they were like, oh, yeah, bring Michael. You know, anyway, it was peak night. It was a peak year. Okay? In that race, there was no expectation, bro. I can't explain why it was so good. I like I said, I guess it was just because I didn't put in the work in. So there was no expectation. Anyway, so it hits 2025. I'm back to ground zero now. I had the idea, okay, I'm gonna start the YouTube channel. And I'm gonna go ham on the YouTube channel. So I started it in March of 2025, you know, slow uploads. I wasn't as consistent as I wanted to be. I wanted to push out at least one video a week. And then, you know, I was literally going to sleep, had my laptop whipped out on another account that would just watch my videos on replay so they could get views. Now, as the year went on, I did more research. I realized you're kind of screwing yourself over by doing that, because now the algorithm's like, okay, the video's getting all these views but no engagement. So it kind of realizes what you're doing. So you nerfed yourself because now your videos aren't actually going to get views. So then I went back to this channel, in which I just re-upload all of those videos that I had on that channel to this channel, in which obviously they were already all edited. So that I could space them out, uploading them every 4 days. Bam, 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 for at least a few months. And so, you know, and then this channel actually beat out that channel. This channel used to have 160 subscribers that I got because I uploaded a random video of Gamora's death in 2018 before Infinity War came out on DVD. So it was a cinema recording, but it was a screen recording that I took of someone that took it in the cinema. And that video got like 250K views, which got me like 160 subscribers. So anyway, and in the same like 6-month span that I uploaded on that channel, and I got maybe like 20 subscribers, I was on this channel and I was consistent, and I got like 80. I beat myself. It actually worked. Anyway, last year, what happened last year? Anyway, so yeah, I thought this was, I was like, who doesn't want to be a YouTuber, bro? There's so much freedom that comes with that, bro. You just get to be you, and then you get paid, and then you could just be you even more. You don't have to worry about anything. Is that not what it's all about? Anyway, so now I'm hitting 20 as of this year, and my birthday was in March, and I'm thinking of all the time that's passed, and I was like, damn, I didn't do shit in my teenage years, bro. I didn't do anything. Yeah, I didn't go to any parties. I was still a virgin. We ain't talking about that though, okay? Never had a girlfriend, never had none of that, okay? I'd go to school, come home, watch the TV, watch a movie, watch a show, watch a YouTube video, whatever, watch a movie, okay? And I would just, that was it. Maybe hang out with a few friends sometimes, a school event, or, oh, it's my birthday, let's go eat at a restaurant. That was basically it. Okay, but then I was hitting 20, and I was like, damn, I didn't take risks, because obviously you get out of primary school and high school starts, and I was like, damn, there was so much I could have done in primary school and gotten away with. I could have taken more risks. I could have been more stupid. You're a kid, no one cares. And then high school ended, and I was like, damn, there was way more in high school I could have done and gotten away with. I did stuff. I skipped a few classes. I skipped a few exams. I did some conniving here and there. But it was things like, I could have done that. I could have cared less about that. It didn't matter. I mean, I don't know what stress or anything feels like. I felt like one emotion my whole life, which is kind of a bad thing. Because then it's like, what happens when I'm like 20 now? It's low-key too late, bro. I'm nerfed, bro. What am I going to do when I feel an actual different emotion, bro? Like, how am I going to deal with it? Like, it's low-key over, bro. Anyway, so now I'm turning 20. I talked about this in other videos. Like, literally, the last video I uploaded was Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, Episode 11 reaction, in which, obviously, I was yapping, because I think that was after I hit 20, or that was right before. It was a really bleak time, bro. It was really hopeless, because I was like, damn, I'm hitting 20, and I didn't do anything. I didn't live. I'm still the same guy that I was at 14. It was still the same guy that I was at 13. I've done, nothing has changed. Nothing is different. I didn't go through anything at all. Like nothing. No character development, barely any. Okay, no girlfriend, no nothing, no death, nothing. My junk is low-key been sunshine and rainbows, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. But it's also a good thing. But then it's also like, now I'm 20. It's like, oh man, it's just like, it was horrible turning 20, bro. I remember mom being like, oh, you used to love, like, when I bring up your birthday. Because she was like, what do you want for your 20th birthday? I'm like, bro, don't talk about it, bro. I want to not be here anymore. How about that? Okay. And then she was like, oh, man, you used to love it. I was like, yeah, well, I'm not that guy anymore. Okay. I don't have a thirst. Anyway, this video is gonna be way longer than it should be. Oh, what am I saying? What am I saying? Okay, so hitting 20 that week was horrible. And I don't know if it was hitting 20 or if it was this one movie that shifted. I watched the Raise Arc movie on the 20th of March, I think it was. My birthday was on the 17th, but I watched the Raise Arc movie on the 20th of March. That movie was, like I said, Denji was just too relatable, bro. I felt like that junk had happened to me, bro. You know? Where I always say, I never got no yams neither. I don't know how to swim neither. I've never seen a shawty naked, like IRL. Like, obviously we be cool, like IRL. That's never happened before, right? So it's just really relatable. And I ended the movie. And I actually knew, like I said, I knew what was going to happen in the movie. I'm probably going to talk about it in other videos that I filmed at that time, which are the videos that are going to be uploaded now to the channel. My point is, I remember just watching that movie, and it was nighttime, and it was dark. And I went out into the parking lot, and I just sat there at the floor, and I stared at the sky. Low key, I felt like bursting out into tears, bro. That movie was painful, bro. Like I said, it felt like it happened to me, bro. I was not okay for a lot of days, bro. I don't know if it was hitting 20 or if it was that movie, okay? But I'm pretty sure it was that movie. After that, I was not good, bro. Yeah, I nearly cried that night, bro. I haven't cried in like 7 years. I nearly did. I low-key could feel it, like, stirring up inside me, but I held it back, because I was like, I don't know, I'm not going to do that, bro. But that's the thing, though. That's the issue. Kind of running away from feeling emotions, because, like, maybe I should have let myself cry, because I don't remember what that feels like. Okay, last time I cried was when Iron Man died in Avengers Endgame. So, I mean, how valid is that? Okay. It was like an Iron Man, nigga. I was like 13 years old. Okay. Wait, that was a long time ago. Hold on. That was like 7 years ago. Ooh. Timmy Tim anyway. Yeah, I sort of ran away from that emotion, but that's not the point. The point is, after like 3 or 4 days, eventually I left the house. I had to go do something, but I think at that time, I guess I was healed. I was like healed for the better. Anyway, I went out on that day. For some reason, I was more talkative. You know, I was more talkative, and I was actually, I felt freer. You know, I can't explain it. I'm gonna have to make a second video. Because I'm waffling here. I didn't get to the point. Okay. And you know, I thought that would fade away. You know, like just talking to cashiers and like having a good time. You know, and I thought that would fade away because I haven't had that kind of, I guess, confidence. I don't know, since high school. But now it was actually on like a level because it's actually like, okay, I'm just on my own. You know, obviously when you're in school uniform, people obviously tend to talk to you. And naturally seeing is like obviously like, oh, you're a kid. You know, you're a kid. So people obviously talk to you, but I was just, you know, I was actually talking. Just like, oh, how's your day going? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, like, why do I feel so much better today? Anyway, and I thought that would fade, and it did eventually. But as of late, you know, I spent a lot of time. Like I said, all of this has happened in 3 months. So much time just being like, I live by a beach, you know, and just going outside and just sitting there and watching the sunset and staring and everything. And actually, I guess, like I said, a lot's changed in the era, but a lot hasn't changed in the era because I'm like, okay, I still make the same jokes, still stupid, still idiot. But why does something feel different? I guess I'm just more self-aware. I guess I'm just more self-aware than I was before, like to a whole other extent. Okay, I guess that might be it. But you know, there was a fire that happened in the apartment that one time. I think it was around that same time. It was before or after I hit 20. I'm pretty sure it was before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was before. I was still 19 at that point. Yeah, and I went in, I helped, I ran in. You know, I came out coughing. I was like, oh, you got asthma, you could have died, you shouldn't be doing that, blah, 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 blah. And I was in the shower. Anyway, I thought about that for like a little while after it happened. And I was just like, bro, if that fire had taken me out, that would have been pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, you know. Um, if there's an excuse for me to tap out, I was like, you know, if it took me out, I'm fine with that, bro. Cause my life is it's nothing, bro. It's amounted to nothing. I haven't done anything. At least you know, would have went out like a G. I would have had a superhero's ending. It's like Spider-Man. Okay. I don't know if I wanted to die, but I was like, you know, if I did, that'd be pretty cool. I don't feel like that anymore though, because I feel like I have a plan. I have a direction that's enlightened me and come up as of late. Um, in the last 3 months, anyway, my homeboy was hitting me up, and he was like, "It's like May now," and he was like, "Bro, this is horrible. Like this man, we hardly talk. We just send reels back and forth." It was my guy in high school, but he goes to a different university, so I literally haven't seen him. He lives hella far, but anyway, we just be sending reels back and forth. That man hit me up in like May. That man would hit me up on Instagram, texting me. Sounded like he was about to die. Okay, it sounded like he was about to get nuked. So I'm obviously responding to the message like, "Bro, what's going on? Are you good?" And he was like, "No." And he was, I was like, "Okay, well, I'm like, what's the problem? What's the problem?" He's acting like he's about to blow up, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm about to hit 20," and I was like, "Oh, man, oh, that's what it is. That's what it is." You know, and I was like, "Damn!" Like I remember that feeling. You know, not wanting to hit it, being like, "Damn, I didn't do enough." He was different than me though. He wanted to fit in more. He went into a different crowd, started doing like drugs and weed and stuff. You know, which is fine, bro. You know, all my homeboys got free will. But he definitely tried harder to fit in. But I was more like, you know, I was like, you know what, I got my boys. You know. But anyway, yeah, and I was like, damn. You know, turning 20 is a crazy experience, bro. I didn't reach the point that I wanted to reach in this video. I'm gonna have to pause real quick. Okay, anyway, it's getting dark. It's getting dark. Yeah, it's getting dark. So I'm gonna finish off this video tomorrow, which I'm gonna further explain how my mind has evolved within these 3 months, and that now I have a plan that I can follow, a realistic plan. I feel grounded. Okay. Something realistic, something plausible, but something also effective and achievable. You know, because I've been getting a lot of videos on my YouTube lately about, you know, just like, I don't even know what this guy's name, but it would be like, oh, I talked to a person that's 103 years old, and this is the advice that she gave, and I just find myself watching those videos, or a video that's like, oh, I'm 29 and lost in life, you know, and I've maybe like been watching those videos a lot, like in the past 1 or 2 weeks, and I guess they gave me some clarity on some things, bro, because you hear all these old people talk about their regrets and the things that they wanted to do and they can't do. And I feel like now I guess it's kind of clicked. So then anyway, tomorrow I'm gonna make a video called what is it? I'm gonna call it like to me in like 6-7 years. To me in 6-7 years, in which I will explain what my plan is. I guess that's a sequel to this video. I guess it could be one video, but this video is already 40 minutes. No one's listened to this. Okay. I've been trying to edit, like I said, I've been trying to edit season 4, episode 1 of Invincible for the past like 11 days, and CapCut keeps crashing. It's stupid. This stupid thing. This stupid, idiotic. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Because I keep ignoring the update button because I don't want to lose features. But maybe I might have to just click it because I can't. I click once and then it crashes. Okay, it's ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, something's changed in the air. You know, 2020 was horrible. But it's been 3 months. And I look back and I'm like, wow, it's only been 3 months. It hasn't even been half a year. It hasn't even been a year. It hasn't even been half a year. And yet my brain is low key the most focused. My brain is low key the most clear and streamlined it's ever been. It's always been a mess, but now it's a controlled mess. Okay, it's like the best way I could describe it is like the multiverse in Loki. My brain has always been like the multiverse after season 1. It's spread off. It's chaotic, but there's everything there, and there's a lot of things. Whereas now it's still the same thing, but it's like there's loom. It's a tree. And Loki is holding this tree. But it's still the multiverse, but now everything is organized, it's streamlined. This possibility it's kind of like magic. I'll explain it tomorrow, but that's a very good example. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. but it's also not entirely what I'm trying to say because I'm not done what I'm trying to say. Okay, but I'm gonna be done tomorrow. I'll probably rewatch this before I make that so I can. Okay, point is things are becoming focused. Okay. You pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You pour water into a mug, it becomes the mug. Be focused, like water. Be like water. You pour water into a mold, it becomes the mold. Be like water. You seen that video? Who hasn't seen that video? Anyway, I'm a further. What's the word? Gotta use big words. What's the buzzword? I'm gonna further. I don't know what it was. I'm gonna build on this tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna keep going on what I'm saying. I'm gonna make sure that you understand. I'm gonna make sure that you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, are you picking up what I'm putting down? You're only kind of lifting up what I'm putting down, but maybe you are picking up what I'm putting down. Or maybe someone watching this is exactly my age and is like, I understand you, and we're forming an interlinked here, and you understand exactly what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm gonna end this for now. I'm gonna be back tomorrow. Okay, because this is good. I need to get these things out of my head. Maybe I need to say them out loud. I got headphones on, so I could kind of not hear myself, even though I can. But it's kind of helping me not hear myself. It's kind of making it easier for me to yap about this stuff because I don't know how to do that. Anyway, because usually when I'm hitting these yap sessions, I'm hitting it after I've watched something, so I'm already in a talkative mode. Anyway, I'm be back. This isn't over. It's not over yet. I got it stuck in the fire. It's blowing up in my head. Why do I always tell myself that it's not over yet? Okay, I'll be back. I will be back. Love y'all. See y'all. I'll be here.